I'm Adam Costola, a principal from Lyons, and it's a pleasure today to present the new Joan Kirner Women's and Children's Hospital located on the campus of Sunshine Hospital. We undertook this project for VESPA. It's run by Western Health and it was constructed as a D&C project tendered during the design and development stage by Lyons. And we're extremely proud of it. It's a major hospital in the West. It represents a significant investment by the state government in Melbourne's growing West. And it's growing because it's growing, it definitely needs an expansion of the facilities for women and children. So the project provides significant expansion of the capacity of Sunshine Hospital and Western Health to look after the young families and the growing families of Melbourne's West. Our design approach to make this a piece of public architecture was to connect it to the hospital campus, to the story of Melbourne's growing West, and to create a series of spaces both internally and externally which alleviate some of the stress which come with going to hospital, but also maybe add some of the joy of coming to this hospital and having your family grow. It also gave us as a practice, and this is a little bit before my time, I'm happy to say, to revisit Sunshine Hospital, where we were able to, experiment with how we can test the resistance of the typology of the ward building, of all of those challenges and necessary challenges of designing a hospital ward. We've combined it with ideas about how to make place and how to add joy and moments of views of connection to landscape into a hospital. So just like the hospital has grown from an outer suburban community hospital, 2, 3, 4 story, to now being a metropolitan hospital, it's been interesting for us as our practice has grown and developed some of these concepts to follow that course of the hospital too. And the approach that we've developed as a practice over many years is this idea of salutogenic design, which is an evidence-based approach to design for wellness. It's not the design to prevent ill, it's to positively, through design, through, for example, very clear wayfinding, through providing comfortable waiting spaces, a sense of legibility and comprehensibility, understanding what the next step in your journey is, connecting to landscape. All of these approaches which you'll hopefully see through the design to make a hospital a place of wellness. But it is stitched into a hospital campus, highlighted here. It does have functional connections to the main parts of the hospital. It is sort of slipped in behind this brilliant work that we did at the hospital 20 years ago. And like many hospital projects, it is woven in amongst car parking, and there's always that tension between the growing needs of the hospital campus and the opportunity which a new project can provide as well. It further develops the master plan for Sunshine Hospital, but it is very much a leap into a vertical model of the hospital growing from the sort of 3 or 4 levels which currently occupy the hospital campus. And for us as a first step in response to the master plan and its position in Melbourne's West was to create a very legible urban form, and then at ground level to see how we could maximise the opportunities to add landscape, to improve the sense of welcome to the hospital. We have here a mixture of people maybe arriving at a very stressful time, but also arriving at a more joyous time. So there are patient drop-offs as well as ambulance drop-offs and patient transport vehicle drop-offs as well. The main entrance is here. There's a small area of our landscaping facing out towards the east and to a public park over here. And we're able to establish on the ground floor a visual connection from the open spaces out here through the main public foyer to a secure children's courtyard there as well. So there is a sense of light all the way through the building. There is a landscape which greets visitors as they get dropped off under this sheltered canopy, and the colours of the landscape and these glazed bricks bring visitors into the main entrance of the project. In very simple terms, in terms of very simple wayfinding, the reception point is here. The bank of lifts are highly visible, very easy to navigate to, and then there are a number of children's clinics which are highly accessible on the ground floor, as well as all the functional connections to other parts of the hospital. The project is 9 levels of wards, CSSD and operating theatres, as well as a plant room. The more quiet ward areas are located above the busier, hard-working lower levels of the hospital. And fundamentally, it does come down to bedrooms such as this, some of the paediatric bedrooms here, which are afforded really great views in basically a panoramic way all around Melbourne's west, but also, as you'll see from the presentation, their use of colour and soft furnishings to make this into a much more comfortable and home-like feel, as well as adding colour, comfort, a place for families to be with a mother in these birthing suites and neonatal and postnatal suites. The plan, as many hospital plans are very hard-working, but small moves make a difference, such as where we locate the stairs, pushing these to the corner to allow views down the corridors to capture those panoramic views, adding patient lounges which capture key views to the city, pushing out the lifts so that when you step out of the lifts you do have a view out of the building rather than just into more wall space, and all of these provide small breakout areas across the floor plate. Again, to strengthen these in terms of the form, there are some large framed windows all around the building which relate... How much?
That was 6.
6
so
minutes. Okay,
2 minutes to go.
I'll keep moving through this very quickly. There are also outdoor patient breakout spaces and staff lounges. The colours of the urban form directly draw upon the colours of Melbourne's western suburbs, and this was an idea which the hospital was very much into to make this connection in a graphic technique, recalling maybe Gerard Richter's work, where we stretched and pixelated these colours to give a distinct identity to the urban form, which picked up the colours of the landscape, the terracotta roofs and the sky as well, and these were achieved through keen finishes on precast concrete, because this project was built directly after the Grenfell disaster, and as we all recall, we all had to make sure we didn't use anything that even remotely seemed as a combustible cladding on the project, so it had to become precast during the design process. It gives us a very clear, legible urban form, and finally just coming back to the entry sequence, large-scale entry looking towards that drop-off, giving a sense of legibility within this car park, which leads into light-filled spaces which have integrated artworks in them. This moving artwork here by Alexander Knox, as well as this artwork here by Emily Floyd. The reception is front and centre within the main arrival space, and again the lifts, the upper levels. There's a very clear sense of navigation from this entry space for the next step in your journey. You would have noticed that there's a use of circles throughout the plan. This was a deliberate strategy to create a more lifelike, growing analogy for the interior, different to the exterior forms. Obviously recalls aspects of architecture, but also allowed us to deal with different scales of spaces, create everything from joinery to little seating areas, and these we use to connect from the outside to key reception staff bases and provide a very clear sense of journey through the project. Thank you.
Thank you.